Okay, let's go. The final quarter of the 19th century marked a turning point in the history of biologists. The final quarter. The final quarter. That means 1875 to 1900-ish, something along there. Bio began applying something. Okay, they became interested in something and did something. They became interested in applying something and rather than doing so they changed the way that they 1875 to 1900 they changed the way they did business. Now what is that change? Is they made this change. I'm not 100% sure, but it's impossible to discuss the history. But even without emphasizing those, they had dependent on historic explanation. 100% sure. Maybe I should just glance over this. I'll just quickly glance over it. And applying an ideal historic. An ideal Okay, so I guess they were looking at some historical. Okay, that makes a little sense. Those dependent. Okay, so this was a big deal, I suppose. That's what it means. Wherever it was applied. Wherever it was applied. Okay, I guess it was a big deal. I think this is saying the earlier process was a big deal. I skipped wherever it was applied. I'm not sure what it means, so that's why I'm skipping it a little bit. I read it, but I'm just gonna, make it like that. Okay, so why was it a big deal? I mean, why did they apply the earlier methodology? Observation of. Okay, so historical examination. I guess it went into their bias, which is they had a hypothesis as to what was going on, and I suppose this confirmed their hypothesis. Same. Blah blah blah. So it's all why would they all? Okay. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is saying why they did the earlier method. I think that's what this is saying. Okay, so then why they changed. Okay, it was incomplete. Oh my god. So why they changed? I think this is saying why the change. If they came up with problems when they did the earlier method, I suppose. No, blah blah blah. To resolve. Okay. Not a the solution today appears to be. Fact of components of relation. I think this is saying I think this entire thing is saying why they switched. They came up with problems, and so the objective is tell me about a change in attitude between 1875 and 1900 for biologists. What 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 was the reason for the change? That's what I remember. That's all I can figure out from this passage. P2, the reasons. I'm looking for something that tells me this. To compare the information. I don't think it's to compare, assess the influence. Contrast. Assess the influence that theories of history had on the movement. I don't think there's any assessment going on. Compare, I think, is wrong. There's no comparison. Discuss the importance. Maybe, yeah, I think so. Discuss the importance. I think it's more about explaining the change. Contrast. I mean, I'll keep this. There's no evaluation going on. It's between C and D. Contrast. Discuss the importance of historical I think, yeah, there is a contrast. The entire thing is about a contrast. Discuss them. I think this is almost a subservient to that, because this is saying the reason for the change and why it was so difficult was there was all of these all of these historical explanations, and yet they still had to change. I think it's D. D seems to be a higher level. All of this. I chose 1D because D is higher level. C is is a bullet point before, almost like a bullet below D. That's how I thought about it personally, according to the information presented, which are the 19th century. Methods of explanation. I think common mode of explanation. Could not find it. I would skip, but anyways, let's just try. Historical. I know. Yeah, I would skip this one. No idea. No clue. 2. Second, no idea. Didn't even realize between historians and bio. The turning point mentioned in line 2. Yeah, okay. That means it's a change. It's a change. Conflict. I thought the entire thing's about historian, biologists. There's no historian, really. I think, yeah, it has to be C. I think it's C. 3C. Became less interested. I think I'm selecting C because of this. The author implies alumni who studied. Sure. I think this is saying that why there was some attraction towards the old methodology. Hmm. Historical. Why did they find it attractive? I think it's 4C because this is referring to why is it attractive? And I think the rest of this is entirely about why is it attractive. So it's 4C. The passage was not appear in which of the following? Maybe some historical biology. No, this is about changing. No, it's too embryogen. It's too small. It's too no, it's too high. Discovery of fossils. I think so. I think so. Experiment by historians of human. I mean, we're talking about historians of biology specifically. I like this. I think this is specifically referring to this aspect here. So I'm going to choose for 5e. Thank you.